Assalamu alaikum. This one is question number 7. November 21, version 4.2. The particles P and Q of masses mkg and 2 mkg. The particles are initially held at rest 6.4 meter apart on the same line of greatest slope of a rough plane. The plane is rough at an angle alpha where sine alpha is equal to 0.8. Particle P is released from rest, slides down the inclined plane, greatest slope. Simultaneously, particle P is projected up the same line of greatest slope at a speed of 10. The coefficient of friction between the plane and the particles is 0.6. Show that the acceleration of Q up the plane is minus 11.6. As the particle Q is moving up the plane and the plane is rough, so the direction of friction is down the plane. Now we will draw the components for the uh, weight of the particle Q and draw the forces on the particle Q. The weight will act vertically downwards. These are the components of weight. This one is the normal reaction R. The weight of component parallel to the plane is 2 mg sin alpha, and the weight of component perpendicular to the plane is 2 mg cos alpha, and mu r will act down the plane. Now the force in that we will use second law of motion, F is equal to ma. The force in the direction of motion is 0. The force opposite to the direction of motion is 2 mg sin alpha, and mu r is also opposite. Minus mu r is equal to m into a. Here mass is 2m. Minus 2 mg sin alpha is 0.8. Minus mu is 0.6. Normal reaction R is equal to 2 mg cos alpha. This R is equal to this mg cos alpha, 2 mg cos alpha. Ma. Now we will find out the value for cos alpha. We will draw a triangle. This angle is a right angle triangle. This angle is alpha. Sin alpha is 0.8 over 1. So with the help of Pythagoras, this length is 0.6. So cos alpha is equal to 0.6. We can cancel out 2m because 2m is in all the terms. So this one is 1.6. Sorry, not 1.6. This one is g into 0.8 minus 0.6 into g into cos alpha, which is 0.6, is equal to a. With the help of calculator, The final answer is minus 11.6 meter per second square. This one is the part number one. Now we will move to the part two. Find the time for which the particles are in motion before they collide. Find the time for which the particles are in motion when they collide. Now we will draw the forces on the first particle. This one is the weight of particle P. These are the two components. Along the plane, the component is mg sine alpha, and perpendicular to the plane, the component is mg cos alpha. This particle is moving downwards. So the frictional force is mu r and acting in the upward direction. Here is the normal reaction for the particle P. Now, इसमें सबसे जो इम्पोर्टेंट बात है जिसमें कंफ्यूजन होती है, हम ये सोचते हैं कि द पार्टिकल P will move upward and Q will move downward and they will collide while P is moving downward and Q is moving upward. जबकि असल में ये होता है कि पार्टिकल Q जो है वो अपवर्ड मूव करता रहता है, इंस्टेंटेनियस रेस्ट पे जाता है और फिर डाउनवर्ड मोशन स्टार्ट कर देता है और फिर पार्टिकल P पीछे से आके उस पार्टिकल Q को हिट करता है, यानी कि जब उनका एट द टाइम ऑफ कोलिजन बोथ द पार्टिकल्स आर मूविंग डाउनवर्ड्स. अब Q जो है उसकी सेकंड स्टेज में कोलिजन होता है. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी विल फाइंड आउट दैट Q की जो फर्स्ट स्टेज ऑफ मोशन है विच इज अपवर्ड, उसके लिए उसने टाइम कितना लिया है, उसके लिए उसने जो है डिस्टेंस कितना कवर किया है, एंड इन द सेम टाइम we will find out the distance covered by P and the speed of P. Now, the initial speed of Q is 10. The acceleration of Q is minus 11.6 and the final speed is 0 in the first stage of motion. Now we will discuss the first stage of motion. In the first stage of motion for Q, initial speed is 10 meters per second. P will continue to move in the upward direction until its speed is 0. V is equal to 0. A is equal to minus 11.6. Now we will find out the time. V is equal to U plus AT. Now the time is 0.862 seconds. This one is the time for the first stage of motion when particle Q is moving upwards. Now the distance covered by Q is 4.31 meters. Now we will find out the distance covered by P in the time 0.86 seconds. First of all, we will find out the acceleration of P. The force in the direction of motion is mg sine theta, and force opposite is mu r, is equal to m into a. Mg into 0.8 minus mu is 0.6 into normal reaction is mg cos alpha is equal to m into a. G into 0.8 minus 0.6 into G into 0.6 is equal to A. The acceleration is 4.4 meter per second square. Now the distance covered by P in the time 0.826 seconds, in the time 0.826 seconds is initial speed of P is 0, acceleration is 4.4, time is 0.862. The distance covered is the distance covered by P in the downward direction is 1.365 meters. Now, in the time 0.862 seconds, P have moved 1.635 seconds, and the particle Q has moved 4.31 meters, 1.635 meters and 4.31 meters. The total of 1.635 and 4.31 is 5.944. So there is a still there is a gap of 4.55 meters. 0.455 meters. Now, at time t is equal to 0.862, particle P is at this position and the particle Q is at this position. Suppose they will collide at this position. In the downward motion. Now, The distance covered by the particle q is x, and the distance covered by the particle p is x plus 0.455 meters, and the time will be same for both the particles to cover the distance x and x plus 0.455. Now we will also find out the final speed of particle p. V is equal to u plus at 3.793 meter per second. Now we will use S is equal to ut plus half at square for both the particles p and q. For particle p, we will use S is equal to ut plus half at square. The distance the particle p should cover is x plus 0.455. Ut initial speed is 7.93 into time is unknown plus half a is 4.44 into t square. For the particle q, the distance the particle q will have to cover is x, initial speed is 0, plus half into acceleration is acceleration will be 0.44 because when we will calculate the acceleration mg sine theta, 2 mg sine theta minus mu r is equal to 2m into a. उसी तरह बेटा 2m कैंसिल आउट हो जाएगा, यानी कि वेट का बीच में कोई रोल ही नहीं रहेगा, और एक्सीलरेशन जिस तरह हमने ये पी का 4.44 निकाला हुआ है उसका भी पी जीरो इज जो होगा वो 4.44 ही होगा. Into t square. Now we will solve these two equations. We will put the value of x from the second equation into the first one, and x is equal to 2.22 t square. So is equal to 3.793 t plus 2.2 t square. We will cancel out 2.2 with 2, 0. 455 is equal to 3.793 t. This one is the time for the downward motion for stage 2. So we will name this one as T2. Now 0.455 divided by 3.793 is equal to 0.12 seconds. Now the total time is the time for the particle to move up the plane is 0.862 and time for the downward motion is 0.12. The final time is 0.982 seconds. देखें बेटा जी, जब जनरली हम इस क्वेश्चन को देखते हैं तो सबसे पहली जो हमें जिसे कहते हैं कि हम मिसडायरेक्ट होते हैं वो इसमें होते हैं, हम ये सोचते हैं कि पार्टिकल क्यू अपवर्ड मोशन में पी को हिट करेगा, जबकि इस क्वेश्चन में डिसलेशन बहुत ज्यादा है पार्टिकल का क्यू का, तो हमें ये चीज का खुद ख्याल रखना है कि ये अपवर्ड मोशन में जाके उसको हिट करेगा या डाउनवर्ड मोशन में उसको हिट करेगा। तो सबसे पहले हमने क्या किया है कि जब उसकी इंस्टेंटेनियस वेलोसिटी जीरो होती है क्यू की, हमने वो डिस्टेंस निकाला, फिर हमने ये निकाला कि उतने डिस्टेंस में पार्टिकल पी ने कितना डिस्टेंस कवर किया था। फिर हमें पता चला कि पार्टिकल पी ने जो डिस्टेंस कवर किया हुआ है वो 1.635 है और पार्टिकल क्यू ने जो डिस्टेंस कवर किया हुआ है वो 4.31 है। उन दोनों के दरमियान में अभी भी 0.455 का गैप है। तो पार्टिकल क्यू जो है वो डाउनवर्ड मूव करेगा और पी फिर उसको पीछे से आके हिट करेगा। इस बात का आपने नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चंस के अंदर ख्याल रखना है। नाउ पार्ट नंबर सी, the particles coalesce on impact. Find the speed of the combined particle immediately after the impact. First of all, we will have to find out the speeds of the two particles just before the impact for P. Now, the initial speed of P is 0. The final is the requirement. The acceleration is 4.4 meter per second square. And the time before the impact from the start of the motion for P is 0.82. 0.982 seconds. So the final speed is V is equal to U plus 80. V is equal to U is 0 and 4.4 into 0.982. Thus initial speed is final speed is 4.321. This one is the speed of P at the instant when the impact took place. Now for Q. Q's initial speed is 0. Final is the requirement. Acceleration is again 4.4 meter per second. And the time for the downward motion is, we are only considering the downward motion of Q. T is 0.12 seconds. Q की सिर्फ डाउनवर्ड मोशन को हम डिस्कस करेंगे क्योंकि हमने सेकंड स्टेज को डिस्कस करेंगे। पहली स्टेज में तो एक्सेलरेशन डिफरेंट था ना, हम दूसरी स्टेज को डिस्कस करेंगे इंस्टेंटेनियस रेस्ट के बाद। तो वी विल अगेन अप्लाई V is equal to U plus 80, 0 plus 4.4 into 0.12. The final speed is 0.528. Now we will use the law of conservation of momentum. We will write down the data for P. M is equal to M. Speed before the impact is 4.321. After the impact are known. For particle Q, M is equal to 2M. Speed before the impact is 528, and speed after the impact is will be same as that of P. Now M1 U1 plus M2 U2 initial momentum is equal to M1 V1 plus M2 V2 final momentum. For particle P, M into initial speed 4.321 plus for second particle Q, mass is 2m, initial speed is 0.528. So for particle P, m into x, for particle Q, 2m into x. 4.321 plus 2 into 0.528 is equal to, हम m सारे कैंसिल कर देंगे, 3x. X is equal to 1.79 meter per second. So this one is the speed of the two particles after the impact. Thank you.